And now at 6, a story that we have been tracking all morning long. A Portland police officer is now on paid administrative leave after a man was shot and killed early this morning in southeast Portland.
Police say that man was armed with a pellet air rifle and a knife. No officers were hurt. Thomas Schultz is covering this story for us. He's live right there along Southeast Lambert Street. Thomas, what else do you know this morning?
Yeah, well, guys, just minutes ago, the medical examiner actually arrived on scene, pulling into this incident right behind us. And you can see there's still a heavy police presence. Lambert is continuing to be blocked off. The medical examiner once again is there, as well as ambulances. Now, police say this all started when they got a call from neighbors around 12:30 tonight of an armed man yelling and making threats here on Southeast Lambert. Here's a photo of what that man was armed with: a pellet air rifle and a knife. Police say once they responded, the man continued to yell threats. They tried to de-escalate the situation for half of an hour before an officer fired at the man with his rifle just before 1:30 this morning. Police say the man then fell and they responded to him, finding him hurt. He died soon after. And Police Chief Bob Day says incidents like this one are challenging for all involved.
And events like tonight here on this street corner, but throughout the city, are challenging all of us at a time where I think as a community, we are striving to come together to mitigate some of these harms.
Now, it's not clear who the man was, what his name is, or his age, though homicide detectives are now investigating. The mayor's office has also been briefed about this, according to Police Chief Bob Day. And he says during this incident, it was difficult because officers were strained because there was a couple of other shootings also happening around town tonight as well. Of course, Southeast Lambert right here behind us continues to be closed. Ashley Grams has more on road closures around the area.
Yeah, so please continue that investigation. We can see on our map here, if you're in the Brentwood Darlington neighborhood, you're going to want to pay attention to this one here in Southeast Portland. As Thomas said there, Southeast Lambert closed from Flavel to 57th Avenue. Now, unclear how long this closure is going to be in place, how long police are going to be on scene, but Police Chief Bob Day asking people to be patient. We'll take it up now to Jansen Beach, I-5 here near the Interstate Bridge, things around the metro area. Other than that area in Southeast Portland, looking fairly clear this morning. This is Sunset Highway at the zoo. Folks moving right along. A similar story out in Oregon City on Interstate 205. It's dry right now, but Chris, you're telling me that these roads might be wet pretty soon.
And that is why we have a KGW weather impact alert day. You're right, Ashley. We are tracking rain, and the window here is probably between about 9 and 1 in the Willamette Valley. The rain right now along the South Washington and North Oregon coast. It's raining now in Astoria. As we go out a little wider, you can see the progress this system has made over the last 3 hours. It is on the move, and it will be moving on in here within the next 2 or 3 hours into the metro area. 52 last check at PDX. Hillsborough right now in the 30s, so there is quite a range in temperatures across the region this morning. I still think we're dry at 7 o'clock. We're probably still dry at about 8 o'clock, but after about 8:30 or 9, all bets are off. And certainly between about 10 and noon, I think that's when we get soaked in downtown. As fast as that system moves in, guys, it's out of here this afternoon. We'll have a closer look at that with Futurecast and your weekend forecast in just a few.
All right, thank you, Chris. We started this hour covering the deadly shooting that happened this morning in Southeast Portland. We're also covering another deadly shooting that happened last night near a cannabis store in North Portland. Police say just after 9:30, they responded to a report of a shooting in the St. John's neighborhood at North St. Louis and New York Avenue. When officers arrived, they found 2 people dead. A person who's believed to be involved did remain on the scene and is cooperating with investigators. Well, it's expected to be another close finish in the rematch for Washington's 3rd congressional district between Democratic Representative Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez and Republican Joe Kent. 2 years ago, Gluesenkamp-Perez beat Kent by less than 3,000 votes. Republicans hold a slim majority in the House of Representatives, so a win by Kent this time around would help solidify his party's advantage.
President Trump's done very well in this district historically. So we've got an opportunity to flip the seat and actually to give President Trump a Congress that's actually going to support his agenda.
On the other side, Gluesenkamp-Perez points to her bipartisan voting record and endorsements from local law enforcement. She's often focused on hyper-local issues like boosting the timber industry and emphasizing the trades in education.
You do not get good policy without having people who have turned wrenches, who have changed diapers, who have driven trucks at the table writing legislation. We don't need more partisan hacks. We need more people who have run small businesses like I did before being elected to Congress.
Both candidates say that President Biden's border policies have failed. They're calling for immigration law changes, and they both support gun rights.
The Portland City Auditor's Office has given City Commissioner Rene Gonzalez a warning after investigation into what he says is a campaign finance violation in his run for mayor. The complaint that was filed last month alleged that Gonzalez failed to include a paid for by disclaimer on a campaign sign, something that's required on signs larger than 6 square feet. And after getting new information, the Auditor's Office says it's also taking a second look at whether Gonzalez violated city campaign finance rules by using public funds to edit his Wikipedia page.
Police in Tiger are asking for help tracking down a serial burglar they say targeted the same school building multiple times. Surveillance video from a Tiger Tualatin school building captured what they believe is the same man breaking into the building 5 different times. According to police, the break-ins have been going on for a year now. The latest one happening just last month. They say the suspect targets things that are meant to help students, everything from clothes and shoes to laptops.
For somebody to break in and steal office equipment, that's hurtful enough, but to target those items that are specifically set aside for students who really need them, that makes it, I think, even worse.
The district did add additional security, including more motion detectors and some other deterrents to keep this from happening again. If you recognize the suspect, you're asked to call or email Tiger Police.
In Clackamas County, authorities have arrested a man they say refused to pull over in a stolen vehicle and then led them on a chase. Police say 41-year-old Frederick Lauderer was the driver in this pursuit in Sandy early yesterday morning. It continued all the way to Estacada, where authorities say the suspect ditched the car and then tried to run away. He now faces charges of eluding possession, including possession of stolen vehicle and reckless driving.
The latest numbers from the state show a lot of Oregon students are still struggling to recover from missed class time during the pandemic. Education Department data shows math and reading rates are lagging across the state, that is, with fewer than 43% of students considered proficient in reading. Before the pandemic, that number was more than 53%. Math proficiency, meanwhile, is at 31% compared to 39% pre-pandemic. On a more positive note, math and reading scores were slightly up in Portland public schools, but administrators in the state's largest district acknowledge that there is still room for improvement.
We still need to accelerate the learning of our Black, Brown, and Native students. Still, we have much work to do.
Oregon Governor Tina Kotek called the statewide results, quote, unacceptable. And she says there will also be, in her words, greater accountability from schools moving forward. She also says additional funding, which districts have been asking for, will come as the state adjusts the model it uses to fund public schools. All right, before we check back in with Chris McGinnis and the forecast, can we talk about the animals at the zoo? Getting ready for Halloween with those jack-o'-lanterns and pumpkins. Yeah, the elephants get the big ones, right? And they like to squish them and squash them before eating them. A little bit of a smaller model for the polar bears. What's up? You like the otters?
I love the otters.
The otters are in on the action as well. So yeah, great time of the year to be an animal at the Oregon Zoo. If you want to check out what's known as the squishing of the squash, they hold this big event where people can come out and watch the elephants squish those huge jack-o'-lanterns and pumpkins. That's coming up on October 17th. So there you go.
The name of that event just tickles me. I love that.
The squishing of the
squash. It's kind of fun to say. It just rolls right off the tongue, right? Those are some cute otters. China, they were putting that together and they said, China loves otters. Let's show more of the otters. All right, let's show you the rain that is moving in. It is a KGW weather impact alert day for rain. Significant rain moving in pretty quickly. It's raining now in Astoria. It's been raining along the Long Beach Peninsula for about 2 hours now, and that system is on the move. It will be moving into the metro area probably by about 9:30, and I want to track it for you hour by hour with Futurecast. It's 7 a.m., rain working its way into the Coast Range, so less than an hour from now. It's possible we see a light band of showers develop out ahead of the main band, but the cold front itself is working its way out of the Coast Range by 9 a.m. and into the metro area between about 9 and 10, maybe 10:30. And when it moves in, you're going to know it because it's going to get dark, it's going to get rainy, and we've got about a 60 to 90 minute window where it's going to be raining pretty good here across the metro area. And then, as fast as it moves in, it moves out. We may even finish our day with some sun breaks. So the lion's share of the rain is going to fall within about a 60 to 90 minute window, I think. And for that reason, that'll limit the actual rainfall amounts, but it'll still be a fairly impressive event here with a few tenths of an inch of rain, maybe upwards of a third of an inch of rain here in Portland, easily double that in the Coast Range and up in the Cascades as well. We are starting off at 52 at PDX. Hillsborough, though, is in the 30s, so there's quite a temperature differential across the region this morning. If we do manage enough sun breaks this afternoon, we probably get to about 64, if not 61, but you get the idea. Rain on the way, and then we clear it out, and we should set the stage for a gorgeous weekend. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Rain today, dry after that. We'll be right back.